You know, I am no stranger to weird things. In fact, sometimes I'm a little weird. And I think we all are. And if you don't think you are, you probably just don't want to admit it. But man, there's some really weird stuff going on in VR. And sometimes I actually forget how weird things get because I'm just so used to it. Then you take a step back and realize I'm partaking in the activity of sitting in my house with the VR headset on, with all of these trackers tied to my body, staring at a mirror in VR while wearing a brush person avatar with 10 other people doing the exact same thing. Of course, I could get into the weird stuff I've seen in VR chat, but that's a whole video all on its own. Instead, here's some of the weird-ass shit you can do in VR right now. Now, I'm not going for the low-hanging fruit of something like VR Kanojo. If you don't know what that is, it's pretty much a high-fidelity creeper simulator where you're tutoring a girl while simultaneously trying to get a snap of that ass. Yeah, it's a little weird, I know. But this piece of art of a video is only going to focus on the highest quality of weird, the proverbial high-hanging fruit. With an all-time classic to start out with, it's actually a beautiful masterclass of patience and enjoyment for the finer things in life. Like watching paint dry. No, that's actually it. This is Drying Paint Simulator, not to be confused with the newly released Paint Drying Simulator. In Drying Paint Sim, you play as a struggling artist making his way through the cold winter forest until you finally make it to the cabin in the woods, where you find an easel, of course. And you know what to do, paint a masterpiece. And what do you do after you've painted said masterpiece? Well, I mean, watch it dry.
To watch his painting dry.
It's such an exhilarating experience that someone gave it a negative review because he couldn't watch his paint dry in beautiful 144 hertz. Is someone gonna tell this guy that just because you're getting more frames per second rendered to your headset that the paint ain't gonna dry any faster? But these jokes are getting kind of dry, so I'm gonna move on.
With a firm press of his finger, the artist destroyed his work.
Well, on to the next one. I talk about it all the time, but VR is really changing the way companies train their employees. You got Walmart teaching people how to bag groceries, you got a car manufacturer, making cars in VR. You got the military teaching people how to, yeah. Then you got good old Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, and the Colonel that actually made a KFC training VR game for their employees. But this isn't some regular training app. I mean, you're not just dunking 11 herbs and spices in hot oil with a headset on. This is a full-on KFC-themed escape room. Just in case the manager locks you inside the freezer or something, because that's totally normal. But hold up, there are weird things in VR, then there are weird things in VR. And this is probably one of the most disturbing VR experiences I have ever been in. Plus, it's not like this is some spoof or joke, this is actually an officially licensed KFC game for training.
Tell me, do you like game?
The Colonel always at least seemed like a nice guy, but now he's got freaking laser eyes and robots, and I'm starting to seriously think maybe a little differently about how I view KFC as an establishment after playing this game. How am I seriously going to walk into a KFC now and not think of,
I'm watching your every move. The hard way builds a foundation of trust that cannot be. You will have it. Enter the light. Do not be afraid, my friend. A heaven of herbs and spices awaits you.
what the fuck? You know what? Scratch that. I'll take the escape room. KFC still slaps. But KFC is a delight going in. It's crunchy, juicy, good old fried chicken. 12 hours later though, you probably got other issues going on. And I have the perfect, oh my, absolutely the perfect VR application, and it's weirdish just for this purpose. Out there somewhere in the great wide open universe, there's a solar system with a perfect Goldilocks planet right where it's a decent 72 degrees, and that's 22 degrees Celsius for anybody that doesn't speak American. And on that planet holds some of the most beautiful sights you've ever seen with flowing rivers and auroras. And on that planet as well is a toilet. That's right, wubba lubba dub dub, my friend. The next weird VR app is Rick's Toilet, and I've confirmed it for myself. It works. I mean, you have to be over a real toilet for it to work. Please don't try to use this in your chair. Believe me, it will not end nicely for you, but it is a majestic and weird experience. I mean, there's no other reason you'd have an application that's quite literally the best toilet in the universe and not be tempted to use it, right? I mean, really, it's something so weird, but also fun and objectively dumb that it just works. There's both a 360 video and the side-loadable Quest app, and now that I think about it, all of those magazines people keep next to the toilet, screw them. They're nasty and outdated anyways. Who wants to read a Sports Illustrated article from 2010 every time you head to the bathroom? Instead, right next to the toilet, I'm gonna hang a fully charged Quest with only this app available. But really, it's weird as heck, but I love it at the same time. And staying on the theme of, you know, space and the whole universe, I have another app that's weird as hell. Most people know how to give a kiss. I mean, it's not that hard unless you have a mask on, I guess. But that's besides the point. What happens if next week some extraterrestrials land on Earth and make first contact? And what if you hypothetically fall in love with one of said aliens? Because this is a totally believable idea. Well, not every being in the universe kisses the same way, and that's why super old VR classic Alien Makeout exists. And yeah, that's literally it. It's just weird. Just making out with an alien, that's the whole game. I guess if you do ever meet a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-lipped alien, you're now fully prepared to go right to first base. I used to be a relatively consistent listener of the Joe Rogan podcast back in my day when I worked in construction. Running around in big-ass loaders, jamming out to Alpha Brain ads until I quit that gig and started YouTube. And thank God that worked out. But I did notice this phenomenon. You can always tell when someone's been listening to a little too much Joe Rogan Experience when they start bringing up DMT in normal conversations where it just doesn't fit. We'll be talking about grabbing lunch and I get a Swift. That's crazy, man. Have you ever done DMT? Well, in case you have a case of the JRE, there's an app for that, and it's weird in all the best ways. Literally called DMT. It's just a giant trippy VR environment that you can blast off in and
to some virtual reality environment where it is so titanically bizarre and so...
Okay, so I knew this time would come, but to all my VR people out there, raise your glasses because we're about to have a heart-to-heart. Look, I know VR is super amazing and really fun and immersive, and you can practically live within some VR applications. And the friendships you make potentially will last forever. And some people even get married in VR having never met each other before IRL, which is a little weird, I guess, but hey, it happens and it's cool. VR is this amazing thing that we all love, and it can really suck away your time without even noticing. I mean, how do you think I have 2,000 hours in VR chat? By being productive? Think again. My real point here is that sometimes VR is so good that you lose track of time, and before you know it, a couple years have gone by and you've only been outside to make sure it's still there. Yup. I've found that the more time you spend in VR, the harder it is to actually get into R. You know, the great outdoors. I mean, the tracking out here freaking sucks. But hey, my friend, I've got the perfect weird solution for you. Now you can both go outside and be in VR at the same time with the Go Outside simulator. With this godsend of an application, no longer do you actually have to go outside to go outside. It's the perfect mixture, that mixture being 100% inside. Just pop some vitamin D and walk around, pretty much the same thing, although I'm pretty sure I don't remember those trees lagging that hard the last time I was outside. All right. So I know there are literally hundreds of weird-ass VR apps and games, and I could probably go on for another couple hours talking about all of them. But I thought I'd end this one with more of an idea. VR sometimes, it's pretty weird. I can't be the only one that second guesses myself like at least for a millisecond every time I'm in Blade and Sorcery. Just dismembering people waves after waves, even kicking them. Or when I realize someone is watching me dance while I'm in VR chat, but they're watching in real life. Or playing Beat Saber whacking around in the air like I'm one of those blow up noodle things in front of a business. But that's kind of what I love about VR. It's weird, and I like to experience weird things with fellow weird people. I remember one time I answered the door and I still had all of my Vive trackers on with extra chargers and cables everywhere, and the guy just stared at me, handed my package, and walked away without saying a word. Some people just don't quite get the VR weirdness, and that's okay, because we get each other. Oh man, that's sappy. Also, there's another app called the Foo Show with Will Smith, and I downloaded it for this because I was like, whoa, Will Smith in VR.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
But it's actually the wrong Will Smith. I mean, the app's not weird, just the whole situation was kind of weird. It's a different Will Smith. That's what I'm trying to say. Either way, I had a ton of fun making this video. So if you happen to know some really weird or wonky VR chat worlds or VR apps or games or VR things in general, just let me know. If there's some love in the like region of this video, then I'll know people actually like this thing and maybe I'll make some more stuff like this. Another really great place to give me recommendations for this sort of thing is on my good old Discord server. I mean, it's always popping with VR people and that could be you. I do want to thank all of my Patreon supporters, especially my Omegas. They make all this stuff happen like every video. Like VR Champ, Nolan Brown, Benji, Biz, Bootsy Wootsy, MCPJ79, Biscuit, Destroyer Potato, Fur Trap, Fusion Oak, HCG Randon, Henry B, It's Lumi VR, Jonathan, KR, tried to do it with my arm, didn't work, Lucid VR, Mud King, Pixel Thomas, Ridbo, Ronzarelli, That Brock Guy, The Omega Wolfster, and Very Evil Shadow. I couldn't do any of this without you. Don't forget to like this video if you loved it, subscribe if you want more of this, and hit that freaking bell if you just can't live without it. Much love, Thrill Out. Much love, Thrill Out.